leaders from right across our agency, and every time I think of principals and directors, I think you are probably the most important people in the system and probably with the most complex and demanding roles, and I never forget that. And we talk a lot about deprivatising classrooms, and the movement we're talking about, I think, with partnerships is how we can work together to kind of deprivatise the whole agenda beyond just the individual classrooms. The changes we're talking about are predominantly cultural, not structural. Structural changes will never bring about much change. But we need to reflect as well on the fact as to how we're feeling about this change, the affective side of it, if you like. So partly what we're trying to do with Brighter Futures is to direct the department in a clear way. We've focused on the 5 benefits. We've been working on this for 18 months and it's been a very generative process with people from the field having a huge amount of say right from the start.
Like when I was speaking to, in each of those locations, to representatives of governing councils, from parents, from friends, teachers and principals, it seems like there is a real positive attitude right across the department. And it seems like on the ground that parents have a lot of confidence in their schools. So from my perspective today, it is about a limited period of time, but it's really just the start of coming weeks, months and through 2014, where we look to ensure that we have the correct operating systems, the practices, the procedures on the ground, which are not going to undo a lot of the good work that's done in the form of clusters that already happen across the organisation. Those relationships, those partnerships that already are well and truly operating, and I've actually seen those firsthand. It's not about trying to undo the good work that's already going on. From my perspective, it's about better formalising partnerships to make sure that we can exploit every opportunity to improve the services that we already provide. And I'd like to hope that in the future that I can be a part of, the train moving ahead pretty quickly so we can restore, if we need to, the levels of public confidence, media confidence, political confidence, that we are a really passionate and committed organisation that really wants to make differences to the lives of young people. And that's not to suggest you're not doing that at the moment, but I think we can always do things better in any capacity, in any organisation. So my appeal, is to please use today to constructively and maturely engage in a very positive way on the things that you have in mind as to faults, failings, opportunities, and things that need to be considered in the building of local partnerships. Please jump on the train. We can't afford to have people, particularly with your level of influence in the room, to not be supportive of such a change process. You may not necessarily agree, but please agree in a constructive way or disagree in a constructive way, and please jump on board with the proposed reform, but have an opportunity to genuinely be a part of constructing what that reform and what the future service delivery model should look like.
Often schools and preschools face, if you like, the same challenges, but we tend to deal with them in isolation. And the opportunities for partnerships, and the research tells us that we get better local solutions and joint solutions if we work together.
And some of that transition process we might start and then get told, well, actually the parameters have slightly changed.
Over the top of that, my concern obviously is with all those links together, why are we working under such things as the health? If someone's actually working in health or a hospital at the moment, they're actually then trying to cross over to the education department. They can't actually, they're not supposed to be working in 2 different systems at the same time.
We actually try these things that you'll work out how partnerships will connect with each other, how old regions might still get together once in a while, how the system will interact with different partnerships. And I really think innovation and creativity has got to be a flavour of all that.
What you might do...
We've got a committee that...
Zooming on that. Oh, I am right all night. Right when it's the band. Okay.
I guess I'm getting a better vision of what it means for different places. So I think it means something for community areas. So I'm from country areas, because I'm from the country, that's more community focused. But I think for city areas, for some it's going to be harder. I think they'll fear that they're going to lose some of the connections that they've already got.
I also see from birth to 12, we're lucky where we are, we're in Pilpiri, and so we already have a partnership amongst our sites, but it's going to be even greater.
There's lots of opportunities to work together and network, use our resources in a more efficient way, share expertise across the sites. It's a good thing as well. So today has been about bringing clarity and asking other colleagues whether we're hearing the same things or not.
The main thing I'm going to take back is the direction that our CE has established for our schools, and I really appreciated hearing what he had to say, and I did take some very extensive notes, and I intend to share that with my leadership team back at school. I suppose also it's about a better understanding about what's in the corporate head in terms of what local partnerships is, and I now feel more confident being able to talk with my colleagues about how that might look within our context as a result of discussions that we've had today.
Educators at a site, not just at the leadership level and filter down, that might have that greater opportunity for all educators, no matter what they are.
A competitive model to a collaborative model.
One of the things that isn't up there at the moment is the stronger connections with other government and non-government agencies for improving education and care.
If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. This is one of my favourite sayings. And what you're doing, this transformational journey that you're on, is going to require you to go a long way. From isolated impact to collective impact does require a transformational shift in thinking and mindsets and the way we do our work. It builds on what we know already about community development, about working together, all this great work that you know about evidence-based practice and good quality schooling and all of the things, the great things you do in your schools. And it requires funders and service providers to shift mindsets. It's about working with the assets that already exist on the ground.
Involved in this organisation over the coming years. No doubt it is a great organisation, as I said this morning, and I've evidenced it time and time again over the last 11 weeks, that there is a lot of extraordinarily passionate and committed people who want to make a difference, which is a fantastic organisation to be a part of when you've got people like that. So very much I'd like to thank you for your contributions today. Thank you.